And we're back. Wow. Who knew that we had commercial breaks on a show that currently isn't sponsored by anyone? I don't know. But yeah. So anyway, we're back. I'm here with the mayor of Braddock, Chardae Jones. And Chardae, I want to learn a little bit more about you. Like, tell me about you. I know you're from Pittsburgh, but can you just tell me a little bit about what neighborhood you're from? And from that point, where you went to high school, where you went to college, where you went to grad school.
Okay. I grew up in Braddock most of my entire life. It's so crazy because my parents are from there, and I grew up at the Braddock Library. That was my second home. We had an after-school program,
Right.
and we had a summer camp. So
Okay.
I was into books my entire life because that's where I spent most of my time. And then I went to Carlow University.
Mm-hmm.
But before I went to Carlow, I went to Woodland Hills High School, which I'm a Woodland Hills alum. I went there the entire way through. Not a lot of people can say that they went to one school district their entire life. And I graduated from Carlow University with a degree in professional writing and mass media communications. They didn't have a journalism degree, but I wanted to go to Carlow because my older cousin, she took me on an overnight. Like, I wasn't even a teenager.
Yeah.
She brought me to an overnight, and it was Carlow College at the time. And I said, when I get older, I'm going to go to the school. And sure enough, when I got older, I said, this is the school I'm going to. But I said I wanted to go to school for journalism, and they didn't have a major in journalism. So I created my own because I really wanted to go to that school.
Wow.
I did not go to grad school, but instead I did... I went to, well, it's not a school. They call it the Charm Farm. I ended up being a flight attendant.
Wow.
And I did that in 2014 for not even the entire year. I lived in Dallas, and I lived in New York for a little bit.
Wow.
I lived in Corona, Queens.
Wow. That's prophetic, I guess.
Yes.
Or whatever prophetic means. But anyway, that's really dope, though. I'm glad that you were able to do all those things. I'm glad, like you said, you stayed at the Woodland Hills School District your whole career from kindergarten all the way through the 12th grade. So I'm glad that worked out. But to move along a little bit, I want to kind of fast forward to you getting elected. I want to fast forward to you getting elected as the mayor of Braddock. And because what I remember is while we were all happy, those of us in, the black community and everything, and I'm sure other people outside the black community that support you, they were happy that you won. But at the same time, there were things that were written about you. There were things that were said about your appearance, about just, I don't know if she can do the job. So we're not trying to dwell on the negative here, but I just wanted you to give some feedback on what that was like.
Oh, it was very interesting because before I was elected, I was appointed. But before I was appointed, I was rejected.
Oh, okay. All right.
I applied for the appointment because all you had to have had was be 18 years or older and be a resident of Braddock for about, I think it was a year.
Okay.
And I was like, I qualify. And then I saw these other people applying, and I had been volunteering in the community for so long. I did my AmeriCorps term there. I was on several committees. I was a full-time volunteer. I swear, I had a full-time job as a secretary at the time. Right. But I was also volunteering left and right. So I applied, and they rejected me. They rejected me because they said I wasn't old enough, A, and B, I just couldn't be mayor because she doesn't know enough to be mayor. I was like, okay. My dad told me that I probably couldn't be mayor because my hair was green at the time. He was like, you can't be mayor. I was like, I think I can. So when the borough of Braddock picked, they picked two, I think it was out of two men that were the finalists, and neither of them lived in Braddock.
Oh.
So they didn't qualify to technically be mayor. So they opened it back up, and it was kind of like a reality show. It was surreal. I applied again because that's just in my nature.
Yeah.
We had to speak at a council meeting, and they selected me. And straight from there, I got whisked away, and council president at the time and our solicitor gave me the rundown on everything that was behind the scenes that I had to take on and put on my plate. Right now, the mayor no longer oversees the police department, and I used to be able to break ties because it's a weak mayor system, and those were like my two things, and I was the face of the community. But now I can't do that. But as soon as I took office and I was sworn in, you would never believe, I was like, I don't have an office? They're like, no, you don't have an office. It's storage. The last administration didn't want to use an office. So I was like, okay. And as far as overseeing the police, I decided to take on overseeing the police department because the last administration let the police oversee themselves.
That's a huge problem.
It was like, why would you do that? I don't see that working out.
Right. Wow. And you said something earlier about like your father saying that you won't get elected with green hair. And I just remember there were just people out there that were just saying things. And I'm just so glad that you have the intestinal fortitude, the thick skin to be able to absorb whatever people say. And
I don't read the comment section. Yeah. As soon as I took office, I was like, I'm not going to read the comment section. Just email me if you want me to directly address your concern. Right.
Well, you handle it really well, and I'm really happy for you. So real quick, don't want to spend a lot of time on this because even though you're a mayor, I don't want to make this the mayor podcast. But what I will say is I would like for you, just in about 2 minutes, just to give an overview of all of the development and all of the great things that are happening in Braddock and that in the change that you've noticed in the area, not only since you've taken office, but also since you've been living in Braddock.
Okay. Thanks to some of the council members, which are awesome, and they have initiative. Partnering with them to spearhead and move things along that were kind of stalled. Like, I was excited to find out that the boating dock, we don't have a boating dock, we just have a boat landing. Like,
okay, gotcha.
You can push your boat off of a piece of concrete, and we wish you the best. But we got money recently for a boat dock that I've been fighting for like the last 2 years. I'm like, I really would like this to be like a recreational space. Hopefully we could put kayaks there. And I took a boat ride for about 15 minutes. We are the last spot before the lock, the dam. So you can take a ride from Braddock to the south side for about like 15 minutes. Very nice. I said we should capitalize on that. Also, seeing people actually move into the community is awesome. And see, the Oringer building finally got finished, and hopefully we'll have some more mixed income housing, which is awesome because I've come to realize that we can't low income house the heck out of Braddock, or we're missing out on opportunities to usher new people in.
Right. And I think that's a really interesting subject that you just bring up when we're talking about housing, because as Black people, I feel like we are often stigmatized as being on Section 8. And for anyone out there that is currently on those type of government assistance programs, then neither Chardae nor myself are speaking out against them. We're just more so talking about the stigma and the stereotype of people expecting us just to want to live in those kind of environments. And
I had someone ask me, like, aren't you going to move into one of these nice spaces? I said, I can't afford. I was like, first of all, low income housing is awesome if you need it. But the maximum cap is like, in some of these places, it's like $30,000 for 2 people.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's not really creating this mobility. That's why I like mixed income housing, because you can have both in there.
Right. And I think what's really important is making sure that, because people, I don't care what tax bracket you fit into, everybody wants a decent place to live that they respect. I mean, so maybe my place doesn't have a dishwasher, or maybe it doesn't have central air, but can we have some of the other amenities that other places have? Because I just really think that mixed income housing that allows that makes it real for people that might be on the lower end to be able to save their money and to get there is ideal.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing and it's motivating in a sense, and it doesn't, because when you're talking about the stigma in low income housing, it also creates, it's almost demeaning. That's why I like the Oringer apartments. That's considered low income housing, income based housing. And which is awesome is they have dishwashers, they have rooftop decks. I was like, this is nice.
Right. Because I think pride is a big thing. I mean, you know, talking about being African American, like being black, like, you know, black pride it was a movement, and it's something that we champion. But just pride in where we live, pride in what our occupations are, and just pride in just who we are and how we're able to move is really important.
Yes. And I also created this transparency that wasn't there before. When I was first appointed, I created a Facebook page because I didn't ask for permission to get on Braddock's Facebook page. I was like, I'm going to create my own. I'm going to create conversations that are organic. And anytime we would have a council meeting, I'd say, this is what you missed in the council meeting. And because most of the people on council are older, they're like, why are you telling everybody what we're doing in social media? I'm like, This is public knowledge.
Right. So, well, I'm glad that you were able to do that. I'm glad that you were able to use some technology and also create some transparency, because
now we having Zoom meetings.
Right, exactly. Because old heads, they be trying to meet in person all the time, and it's like, no, we can't do this.
We're trying to save the old heads from getting sick.
Exactly.
They out here trying to meet in person.
Right, it's a real pandemic out here, and y'all out here trying to show up like we waiting for concert tickets or something like that.
It's like, it's crazy because it is a stereotype. They said the old people out here are having the time of their lives, and meanwhile we try to save their lives.
Right. Hey, you know, I guess that when you get to a certain point, it's kind of like, we had a good run.
I'm like, you don't have 2 masks on? And they're like,
no. Yeah. So, I want to, well, man, this is interesting. I shouldn't be speechless right now. But I think I want to give you an opportunity to, if there is a subject on your mind right now as far as something that you're either really passionate. Oh, you know, I just thought about something. Never mind.
Okay.
I mean, I was going to throw it to you. I'll throw it to you later. So, didn't get a chance to, actually, let me not say that on camera. I was reading a recent article about you. You wrote an article for an online news publication, and it was mentioning the Antoine Rose protest. And I just would like you to expound upon what you wrote in that article and why it was so important for you to be involved in that movement.
First of all, I got involved because A, I'm a writer, and B, I'm passionate about community policing. Community policing, for 2 years, I tried to get regional policing to happen in the Mon Valley community.
Before you continue, could you just provide us with a layman's term definition of what community policing is?
It's defined as having police in your community that A, they know the community, and B, they're not immediately going to, let's put this person in jail. It is creating these social services to divert people from just going to jail or just shooting first mentality.
Right.
It's creating a better quality of policing than we currently have in the community.
Got you. So, I lost my train of thought. Oh, right. So how you got involved, the reason why you decided to get involved in the Antoine Rose protest.
The publication actually contacted me and asked me if I would write something, and I was like, this is a first. Usually I'm pitching stuff to other people. So that was very surprising. And when they asked me to do it, I kind of just, usually I handwrite something first, but this time I just went for it and wrote from the heart about how we have to find ways to coexist and create better ways of policing, and also take accountability in the community when things happen like this. Because we can keep protesting, but until there are changes made on higher levels and everything starts at it starts local and then it goes up the food chain. If you bug your local person and then they bug the other person.
You know what? If we could just hold that thought, because I knew this was going to happen. So